Great. Hi, my name is Lizette Mack. I'm the program coordinator of Connect for Success.
My name is Emily, and I'm the new administrative assistant for Connect for Success.
So thank you for coming today. We'd like to tell you a little bit about Connect for Success. Connect for Success started back in 2011 with Dr. Pan and executive staff. They wanted to have a program that would assist students as they came in, returning students who've been out of the program for a while, or developmental ed students to connect with a mentor so that they could have a source of support. And so what the success coaches do is they meet with their students 6 times or more, 2 face-to-face. The first one, usually you take your mentee to lunch. The last one is at the end of year celebration, which we will be celebrating December 3rd. The other 4 times you guys can meet however you would like. Text, face-to-face, Skype, Google Hangout, whatever is most convenient for you. So, with that being said, I really enjoyed the program. I'm one of the original mentors that started while I was at Red Mountain, and I still keep in contact with my original mentee who is studying to be a doctor. So it's just not a relationship that's built in the first semester. It is an ongoing relationship. So I am hoping to continue our friendship. And this is my mentee, so that's why I'm directing it to her, as well as my mentee over there. I'm directing it to her as well. So hopefully it goes beyond just this encounter and that we can really build something. Because I want to be a support system, not for just one semester, but for however long you want to work together. So we have some great perks in our program. So I'm going to let Emily tell you about our scholarship and our bike program.
Okay, so with Connect for Success, we do have a scholarship program. In order to qualify for the program, you do have to be a C4S mentee in the program, maintain a GPA of around 2.5. You do have to meet with your success coach at least 6 times during the semester, and you do have to have an academic plan for the following semester in order to qualify. Some of the other criteria include that you have to write a personal statement, 150 words. You do have to receive a personal recommendation from your success coach, and you also do, like I said before, have to have that academic plan. So that's some of the major criteria that qualifies. But of course, definitely being within the program, because we do have students that will contact us and say, I've heard about your scholarship, I'm interested in it. You do have to be in the program in order. That's the first main criteria that is looked at when it's reviewed as being a part of the program.
Bike program.
And also with the bike program, it's one of the amazing things that C4S does have a connection with. It was proposed by the City of Mesa Police Department, and basically every calendar year we are offered 30 bicycles from that department that is offered to the college. They do need maintenance. So a lot of people think that when they come in, they're brand new bikes. They're not. They are used bikes. They do need some maintenance, but they are accessible firsthand to the C4S students. And then if they are not used up by C4 students, then we do offer it to other students in the community. But it's a great way that if you are limited in transportation, you have a difficult time getting to class, it's one way that is free, accessible to you, that you are able to get to your classes.
We also have a career resource guide that's online on our website. So if you're ever in need of some utility assistance, or if you're looking for a food box, or if you know someone who's having some difficulties, you can definitely go online and look at the community resources, and it's available to anyone. You do not have to be in the Connect for Success program. Okay? And so at this time, I would like to bring our presenter up, soon to be Dr. Dwayne McIntosh. So I would like him to come up.
There's a doctor in the house, not yet.
But very soon, very soon. Thank you.
All righty, let me just get set up here real quick. And we'll get right to it. I thought today what we would do is talk a little bit about overcoming barriers to success. I know that a lot of us is in that pivotal time where we're right in the middle of the semester and things are kind of getting tough. And some of us feel like we want to just give up. And that's what we're gonna kind of talk about is what are those barriers and how can we overcome those barriers still to get the outcome that we're looking for? And so we're gonna talk about some of those and how do they impact our lives and, how can we take control back and not let them control us, but let's control them. So I think that's what we really want to talk about. Wow. That's an icebreaker.
Wake you up.
Yes, indeed, it is.
For sure.
Let's turn this down. That's pretty.
Does anyone have any questions about Connect for Success or about scholarships, when the deadline dates are, like it gets set up?
How soon I can register? I mean, I have to register as soon as possible for the spring 2013, because I haven't figured out exactly how many classes I want to enroll in.
Okay, you're definitely gonna need that because it's part of the requirement and you can, schedule your classes,
Okay.
but you do have an advisor that you meet with, correct? So I would say definitely make it, I'm pointing that way. Okay.
Oh,
So-
we have advisors.
Make an appointment with your advisor.
He's busy actually.
He's too busy.
He's doing his
Oh.
Yes,
homework.
he's very busy.
Yeah, I
Oh.
always see him in the psychology department doing his homework.
I gotta lead by example.
There you go. I was just about to say that. So once you get all of that, and I'm just simply telling people, try to have everything done by December 1st. Make that your deadline. But the absolute hard deadline is December 18th. And the reason I say that is because things come up and you get delayed. If you really tell yourself the first, if you miss the first, you're still okay.
The big one on the 3rd.
It is. It is. So what will happen now? So what I decided to do was to extend the deadline date because it was due November 3rd. Because at the celebration, when you walked away from it, I wanted you to know you had that scholarship. It's ease. You're like, okay, I don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, am I going to pay for it? What that's going to be like. However, I did have some people like, well, I don't have my GPA yet, and I wanted to be fair for everyone. So I extended the deadline date. You will know when you come back. So then it could be, yay, I have money when you come back.
Is this an actual class, or what is this? I was invited to hear him speak.
Okay, no. Connect for Success is a mentoring program.
Oh.
And so what we do is we meet with potential mentees and we are a support for them for the semester.
Cool.
So in this, one of the perks is the scholarship. So this semester we're awarding up to $1,000.
Okay,
As
how
long
do
as
you
you're
get to
full-time.
be part of the scholarship?
You would have to be in the program, a mentor has to be assigned to you. And at this point, we can't take any additional people because there's not enough time.
Oh, okay.
Because the deadline or our end of year celebration is December 3rd. So everything comes to a stop.
A month and a half.
And unfortunately, their minimum tutors or coaches at this point because everything has already been signed out.
But they can sign up for the spring semester.
For next semester, yes.
How do you go about this? And how come nobody says anything like this when you're signing up, like I started last summer?
Maybe they didn't know. Maybe they didn't know.
Okay.
And you, really how we get your attention is if you're into one of the DevEd classes. Any of the 082s, 092s, any of the developmental ed classes. That's who our cohort
Gotcha.
targets. However, per Dr. Pan, he wants anybody who would like to be in the program to be in the program.
Just gotta let them know.
Correct. Which is why we do these workshops. My two ladies are out really, getting the words out. We're on social media now. We're soon to have our YouTube channel.
Oh,
So
cool.
we are definitely trying to get the word out.
Okay.
He's
All right,
ready.
I'm ready. So can we let this down?
It should be a little over there.
Thank you. I guess we don't have a,
Oh, yeah.
okay, no worries. No worries.
Every room is different. I promise.
Okay, well, today, my name is Dwayne McIntosh, for those who do not know me. I've been here at Mesa for 20 years. Started out in a disability, went there from there to a one-stop shop when we opened up Red Mountain, to the downtown center, serving the community, largely Hispanic population, to now back here as a counselor in the counseling department. And what I'd like to do, I'm a native of Arizona, Tucson, okay, went to the University of Arizona. I held 3 master's degrees and I'll be done with my PhD in May. So, not to say that to impress you, but I'm saying that because you can everybody, you can do the same. It's just about living out your dream and overcoming barriers to get there. Because we're all going to have barriers in our lives. I don't care what you do, how you do it, how well you plan. You're going to have things that is going to be beyond your control that's going to happen. And that's okay. It's really about how you deal with them that really counts. And so hopefully today we're going to talk about some of those barriers and how do we overcome them. The first thing I would say is that the roadmap is very simple. Identifying self-defeating behaviors, and then eliminating feeling like a failure, and then eliminating negative self-talk. I truly believe that the reason that we have a lot of the problems that we have, or compound the problems that we have, is because of the fact that we, first of all, we can't identify those behaviors that are defeating us, or those behaviors that are counterproductive to what it is that we're wanting to do. And then secondly, I think it leads us to feeling like that we can't accomplish things, that we're a failure, no matter what we do. And then what it leads to is us making excuses for ourselves, justifying. Okay, I'm not saying that your excuse is not valid. Okay, everybody has an excuse for everything they do. But what's really important is how do you deal with it? That's the most important thing. And then eliminating the self-talk. I can't believe I'm so stupid. I can't believe I let this person take advantage of me. So we take away the good deed that we do by putting a negative connotation on it. And then we beat ourselves down, and then we feel hopeless. We give up. We feel dispirited. Then we move into depression. Then we go from there to where we say, why even bother? It's going to happen this way anyway. And then we give up. And then from there, we end up with manic depression. And so one of the things you got to do is you got to identify. You can't solve a problem until you identify that the problem exists. And I think that's where a lot of us get stuck. We do not identify our own problems. We're quick to identify problems in other people. But when it comes to us, it's like we're immune to identifying our own problems. Let me tell you about you, but don't you dare ask me about me. Right? That's what we do. That's the way we're wired. Because there's something that we get out of pointing out other things to other people about them, rather than pointing those things out in our faults that we have within ourselves. Self-defeating behaviors. What comes to mind when you think of self-defeating behaviors? So what comes to mind when you think of self-defeating behaviors?
You failed at something you really loved, and once you fail, you automatically think that you're always going to fail at it.
Okay, so self-defeating behaviors is that when you fail, like you fail a test, and you say, why bother, I'm going to fail this class. Okay? What else? What comes to mind?
I was going to say the same thing, but
Okay,
usually that's what people think, but I don't think that way.
okay,
Because if I fail in the first test, I work harder to pass the class.
there you go.
You have to believe in yourself.
Okay, so one of the things that you did is you use it as a motivator.
Exactly.
So you said that, hey, because I failed the first test, I'm going to look at what I did and what I could change, and I'm going to change it so that I'm better prepared and I get the outcome I'm looking for in the second test. Very powerful. Very powerful. So she did something about it. So can you think of a time or a situation where you found yourself using self-defeating behaviors? And what did you do about it? Share with us your thoughts.
That's what happened to me when I was taking biology 1 UT 1. Do you remember when I talked to you about it?
Okay?
And then even I get C in the class, but I mean only 7 people passed out of 48. None of the students get an A in the class because the professor was too high. He was teaching us like a very high level, and he said it in the beginning that he doesn't even expect anyone in the class to get an A.
But what was the difference for you?
But for me, I was actually going to give up. I said, I'm not going to take any biology classes. I said, that's it. You remember? I told you I'm not going to take any biology classes, that I'm done. I want to change my major. And then the next semester, I took 2 biology, 2 science classes, and both of them I get an A.
But what was the difference? I'm saying when you felt like you were going to drop,
Because I felt like I'm not good at biology. I said, maybe I'm stupid. I cannot get it. I said, maybe something wrong with me. I'm not getting the material. And then when I start, talking to other students, they having the same difficulty. I said, oh, maybe there's something wrong, not just with me. I mean, maybe everybody has the same problem. And then I started, talking to myself, oh no, And then I had to challenge myself. I said, no, I have to prove myself differently. And then I challenged myself, even when I took 2 science classes at the same semester, everybody said, oh, are you crazy? 2 science, 2 biology? I mean, I said, yeah, I can do it. So, and I did it, I get a good grade.
so the difference, if you guys hear what she's saying is the way she thought about herself. She went from thinking that I can't do it and feeling like I'm the only person that's going through this to finding that there was other students that was feeling the same way, that was getting the same outcome. So she said, whoa, wait a minute. This is not just me. This is everybody else. So let me change the way I'm thinking. I'm thinking that she went from I can't do it to I'm going to do it. Not only 1, but 2. And what was the outcome of when you took those 2 classes, science classes?
I got A's.
Wow. So you go from not thinking you can pass a class to dropping that class to taking 2 more science classes and passing both of them with A's. Wow. That's amazing, right? It's not, really. When you stop and you think about it, the only thing she did was she conditioned her mind differently. The way she thought. She took a barrier and turned it into a motivator. Because, see, one of the things that keeps us stuck is that we feel like we're the only ones who are facing that type of problem. But when we find that we're not the only one, a lot of times that's all we need. But what happens is that we get into our own little hole, or we get into this little box because we're shamed. People are going to think that I'm stupid. I'm not smart enough. All of these weird things that we tell ourselves keeps us from getting out there. On the other hand, if you listen to your colleague, and what she did is that she went out there and she talked to students. Talked to students that was in that class. And what she found was they were having the same problem she was having. Imagine if she never went. All she would have done was validate her feeling of self-worth. Okay? See, we are creatures of habit. When you hear something long enough, whether you hear it from others or you hear it from yourself, you begin to believe it. That in which you believe will become out in the form of behaviors. So if you believe that you're going to fail a class, guess what? It's called self-fulfilling prophecy. you're probably going to fail that class.
Subliminal message.
Okay? And so when you start to look at someone as your colleague, then what she did was she turned it around and she said, I'm going to take control. I'm not going to let this obstacle of thinking, negative thinking, control me. Very powerful. All it is empowering yourself. Because whatever you think or whatever you believe becomes a part of who you are. You know, emotions are like trash cans. If I fill up this trash can, pretty soon trash is going to fall out, right? Your emotions are no different. We stuff. Our emotions comes out in the forms of what? Behaviors. You know? And we all in this room have been in a situation where we said, wow, I can't believe I did that. Or I can't believe I said that. Right? Where do you think that's coming from? Where do you think that's coming from? That's coming from stuffed emotions. And we're worse on ourselves than anybody. I don't know what it is about people, but we love to be harsh on us. That's why we don't like talking about ourselves. Because 9 times out of 10, we have nothing good to talk about ourselves about. How sad is that? But let me ask you something about your girlfriend or your boyfriend or your friend or your family. Woo! We can write a dissertation, right? But then when it comes to us, we can't even write a paragraph. We'll be lucky if we can write a sentence. I'm caring. I hear that all the time. Tell me 3 good things about I'm caring. I'm honest. I don't know, that's it. So what does that mean? Well, I tell the truth. Do you? To who? To everybody else but me. So when the last time you told yourself the truth? Right? So here we go. Self-defeating behaviors defined. Bad habits. Keep doing the same thing, get the same result. Okay? So there's a part that says that, you know, I want something different. Sort of like your colleague over here. She realized that what she was doing was not effective. So she went back to the drawing boards and said, okay, this is what I need to do now that I'm taking 2 science classes. And she made the adjustment she needed. Okay? So she built a good habit. She turned a bad habit into a good habit. Habits that are destructive to a person. I know that this person is no good for me. But one day he'll change. I just gotta wait. I gotta be patient. Because life is just horrible for him right now. It's just not good. You know, he's a good person. Even though he calls me everything but my name. Because he blames me for everything. But you know what? It's not his fault. Because of what he's went through. Right? We convince ourselves. But what's so sad is this. When it comes to us, we beat ourselves up. Oh, if I wouldn't have done that, then they wouldn't have done this. Oh, the reason that I got a bad grade in that class was because the instructor was sucked. Wow. Really? So you're telling me all your instructors suck? Not just one, because you didn't pass any of the classes. Right? I see it. I'm telling you, this is true. Right? But if we go to our friends and they say the same thing, we want to lend a helping hand. Oh, did you know that there was tutoring? Let me take you over to the tutoring center. Oh, you got this person? Oh, let me help you pick out the teacher. This teacher's really good. Oh, don't ever take this teacher. Right? But when it comes to us, we don't say that. Why is it? Why is it that we're so quick to help everyone else, but so quick to judge ourselves so harshly? Ask yourself that. Constantly performing actions that are against the best interests of those performing them. You're the one who's performing them. Why shouldn't you be the most important person in your life? Let me tell you, my sons, I don't go buy them something without buying me something. Why? Because think about just think about the message that you're sending to your kids. If every time you're putting their needs before your own, what message are you sending to them? Take care of everyone else, and if there's enough afterwards, take care of yourself. That's the message you're sending. Whether you want to believe it or not, it's true. Think about it. If I'm buying my son everything that he wants at my expense, what am I role modeling for him? But when he sees me buying myself something before I buy him, imagine the message that it's sending. I can share with you. I don't celebrate Christmas. Never have. But because my son, his mother celebrated, I never took that from him. But what we did at my house was that we would adopt a family. He would have to go out and buy a gift for everyone in that family, and only after he bought them a gift could he buy himself a gift. Let's forward it now. 20 years. He's 20 years old. Every Christmas, he always looks to help someone else. But he also takes care of himself. See, there's nothing that says that you can't help others without helping yourself. But we have this myth of thinking that, you know what, it's sort of like it's women especially. They think it's, what is the word I'm looking for? Conceited. To take care of myself. To say I love myself. But at the same time, you want everybody else to say they love you. And you get mad when they don't. Well, honey, you never told me you love me. Well, let me ask you this. When the last time you told you loved you? How many in this room, within the last one, told themselves that they love you? Verbally. Not in your mind, but actually verbally said it to yourself. And for those who didn't raise your hand, when was the last time you told somebody else you loved them? This morning? Yeah. This week? Yeah. Why did you tell them you loved them? Because you wanted to validate it. Even though they know you love them, you wanted to validate it. Because if they hear it enough, they'll believe it, and then your actions also show you. So imagine if you gave yourself the same thing. If it works for someone else, why wouldn't it work for you? I'm just saying. Behaviors that are self-destructive. Those are self-destructive behaviors. The way you think about yourself. What we say to ourselves and the way we think about ourselves, no one knows but us. But I'm here to challenge you. If there's something you don't like about yourself, the only person that can change it is you. Don't keep beating yourself up over something you can change. And if you choose not to change it, accept it. I'm not telling you what to change or not to change. But you know what you need to change and what you don't. And I'm saying if you don't want to change it, accept it. Don't keep beating yourself up over it. And if you keep beating yourself up over it, ask yourself why. What am I gaining? What do I want to gain? Because then it'll better help you to understand where you're at with you. Because remember, this is not about anyone else. This is about you. And then let's take a look at usually a symptom of deeper mental issues. Truly, it is. If you can tell someone else that you love them to validate your love for them, but you can't tell yourself that you love you, then what is that really telling you? It's a deeper issue than just the surface. And when they say it's a mental issue, doesn't mean that you're crazy, doesn't mean you have a mental illness. What it's saying really is that there is something underneath the surface. It's called emotions. Okay? You're in control of your emotions. It's okay to feel mad. It's okay to get angry. It's what you do with it that matters. See, it's okay for me to fail a test. But it's how I handle that failing that test that matters. Imagine if she went and said, okay, I didn't get through this class for whatever reason, but she shut down and said, I'm done. I've changed my major. I've done everything. Right? Imagine where she'd be today. She didn't do that, right? She got back up. Let me tell you, you might say, well, that's too hard. I can't do that. You did it when you were a baby. When you started first walking, what did you do? You fell. Imagine if you never got back up and started again. You wouldn't be walking, right? You took a step, you fell, somebody picked you up, told you you're great, and you, by the time they turned their head, you was trying to get back up on that coffee table and take 2 more steps. Life is no different. You're going to fall. You're going to have barriers. But it's what you do when you have those barriers that's going to be the difference between success and not being successful. Notice I didn't say failure. Because failure is not bad. You know, you fell down. Okay? But you didn't stay down. You got back up and you took another step or 2. You fell down again. That's why I don't use the word failure. Because we all fall. That's how we learn. But it's how you perceive it. Mentally, emotionally. How you perceive it. What's your definition of failure? Is failure, does it mean that I can't do it or I won't do it? Or I've just given up trying to do it? Define it. Because you've already failed. You fell many times when you were a kid. But you got back up. So you have the drive to do it. So I can show you from the time you come out, you have what it takes to be successful. You have what it takes to overcome anything that you face in life. It's a choice. Just like it was as a kid. You didn't have to get back up and try to walk again. Nobody forced you to get back up and walk again. You chose to get up and walk again. Do the same thing now. Choose to get up and live again. Not beat yourself up. Choose to love yourself again. And if you never have, do it for the first time. It's kind of cool. Believe me. Self-defeating behaviors, various forms of sabotage, procrastination, addiction, depression, paralyzing anxiety, fear, self-doubt. Any of that resonate with anybody in here?
Yes.
Wow. Definitely resonates with me. Procrastination. That's me to a T. That's why I don't take online classes. Not unless I have to. See, a part of this self-defeating behaviors is getting to be real with yourself. Being honest with yourself. See, I'm honest with myself. I know that I procrastinate. That's why I stay after work in my office and do my work. 3 to 4 hours a night. Because I know, me, if I go home, I'm going to either be watching CNN, ESPN, or someone else. Right? See, but that's being honest with myself. Most of us aren't. Oh no, you know what, I can go home and I can catch, Scandal and How to Commit a Murder, or what's the, is that it? How to Commit a Murder, right? Yeah, okay. Miss Grimes wrote them, both, right? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Chandra.
And so what do? We go home and all of a sudden we watch Scandal, we watch How to Complete a Murder, or How to Commit a Murder. And by that time, hell, you're tired. Right? Now it's like, oh, let me get something to eat. Oh, I forgot. I got to do this, Eric. I got to do this. By the time you get done, it's 11 o'clock. And you're saying, oh my God. Oh, I forgot you guys do down, what is it, OGM or MOMG? Okay, OMG. So y'all don't need to say, oh my God, no, it's just OMG. Right?
Stinging letters.
Right.
Too much to say.
But you're just an OG, right?
I did not watch TV for the last 2 years.
There you go. So it might mean that you need to give up that TV or study in a place that's conducive to studying.
Yeah, no children.
Okay? I mean, go into like I do, stay at work. If that's what it takes, who cares? What is your ultimate goal?
To get it done.
There you go. So if that's your ultimate goal, then you can't procrastinate. Because procrastination leaves self-doubt. Also addictions. And I'm not talking about addiction. When we talk about addiction, we always want to talk about drug addiction.
No, there's no
But there is so many more addictions that it's unreal.
video games.
There you go.
Television.
There you go.
Sleeping.
There you go.
I like sleeping.
I'm going to give you one that you may not have thought of, and I think we all have experienced it before in life. It's called codependency. That's an addiction.
What it is?
Codependency. I have to have a man in my life. I have to have a woman in my life. But see, we shun and we say, no, that's not me. Really? Really? It's a difference between having to have a man or a woman in your life and wanting a man or a woman in your life. Okay? But I think a lot of us will jump to the conclusion, I don't need a man or a woman in my life. Yes, you do. You just need the right one. Okay? But again, it's a choice. You've got to understand that you're empowered. Don't lessen your standards to have someone in your life. There's a lot of us out there that's codependent. We will accept whatever somebody brings to us. Why? Because we don't want to be alone. Well, hell, you're alone anyway. Face it. It's real. Then it leads to depression. Oh, I hate myself. I just can't believe I spent that kind of time when I could have been here. I hear this all the time from students. You know, they had a great semester. They say, well, I can't believe I should have already had this done 2 years ago. Well, hell, you didn't. You did it now. See how we do? Conditioned our mind. We're not happy. We don't celebrate what we've accomplished. We always look at what we should or what we felt we should have accomplished. Well, I say to you, why should I give you more if you don't appreciate what you have? You can't celebrate your accomplishment of getting straight A's in your class for a semester without a negative connotation of, I should have done this 2 years ago. Wow. I don't think we tell other people that. Oh, you did really good. You know what? You should have did that 2 years ago. No. Congratulations. You got all A's. You're on the president's list. Right on. Man, keep up the good work. I'm proud of you. How don't we do that with ourselves? Ask yourself that question. If that's you, why not? And then we become paralyzed. That's where your anxiety comes from. I believe most people's anxiety comes because of lack of preparation. Whether it's for a test, whether it's for life, personal, relationships. Oh, I don't want to say that because he may not come back. Oh, I can't say that to her because she may feel offended. So I'm in a relationship that I can't even tell the one that I care about how I feel. Doesn't mean that I'm right or wrong. These are just my feelings. So you know what? Empower yourself to say, I feel. Own your own feelings. Remember, ladies, this is not about anybody but you. You can't expect somebody to give you something you're not giving yourself. If you don't think you're beautiful, don't expect someone else to. If you don't think you're smart, don't expect somebody else to. So again, you become paralyzed. You doubt yourself. You even doubt your decisions you make. And so what do? You let other folks make your decision. Oh, girl, you need to leave him alone. He's just running you down. And all I see you doing is running back to him. What does he give you? He can't be that good. Right? And all of a sudden we believe it. So now you feel empowered. You go home and the first thing when he walks through the door, I'm done. I'm through. I'm out of here. And then you stop and he says, well, where are you going? You said,
Okay, you leave.
right. But I pay everything here, so I'm staying. No plan. But the point that I'm trying to drive home here is that we allow other people to make our decisions for us, okay? In which they are not going to be the recipient of the consequences of that choice. So if you're going to be the recipient of that choice, why not make it? So at least you could say, if all goes wrong, at least it was my decision. It wasn't influenced by what somebody else said. But that's a part of being honest with yourself. That's the number one barrier that we have as human beings. And then we fear. We fear that we're going to make the wrong decisions. We fear that we're not going to do the right thing. We fear that the consequences are going to be too great. We fear that we're going to fail. I mean, all these fears. For what? And then it leads us right into self-doubt. Can I really do this? Do I really want to do it? So self-doubt and making excuses go hand in hand. See how that plays out? Real simple. So, what you have to do is feeling like a failure. Intense feelings of doubt, fear, and failure becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Manifests itself in various bad habits. Becomes harder to overcome over time. Can be overcome, but involves introspection, causes stress, can hurt health. Let me tell you, one thing that they cannot measure the effects of is stress on the human body. They know it affects it, but they can't measure it. But we know that men die 3 to 4 times faster than women. And the only thing that they can attribute it to is stress. Why? Because most men are taught to cry is a sign of weakness. So what does men do? We stuff. As you have sons, what do? Your son get hurt, you get up and you either say, stop acting like a girl, which I'm glad most people have gotten away from that. But we get up and you say, oh, you're okay, try it again. Little girl gets hurt, you let her cry, oh, sweetie. So we're conditioned early on in life, okay, to stuff. That's not healthy. It's not healthy at all. But that's what we're taught, right?
Yep.
Just like women, you are taught that it's vain to say you're beautiful. But I don't get it. If it's in vain for you to say that, why isn't it in vain for somebody else to say it? So it's okay for me to tell you you're beautiful, but it's not okay for you to tell yourself you are? Man, I got a problem with that. I don't want nobody to tell me they love me if they don't love themselves, because I don't believe it. And your behaviors will show that in what you believe. So you can see how all of these things manifest itself through what we're talking about, barriers. Look at these people. All these people failed in life. Great people. Great people. But they didn't become great overnight. They didn't become great by not feeling and liking themselves. And more importantly, they didn't become famous by not being honest with themselves. And then eliminating feeling of a failure. Identify the cause of these feelings. Where are these feelings coming from? You know, I would say 80% of our emotions or our feelings come from an experience we had prior in life than the situation we're dealing with. See, let me tell you how emotions work. Every experience that you have in life, it's like that computer. Everything you put in that computer gets stored for life, unless you remove it, right? Your experiences in life are the same. When your body feels that fear, it doesn't know where that fear is coming from. It goes right back to that experience that it had. And it reacts the same way. So identifying where that emotion is coming from is huge. Okay? Like for me, my mother passed when I was 12 years old. I dealt with an abandonment issue. Okay? I had to acknowledge that. I went through counseling many years ago, later in life. Because what did I do? I had set in my mind to say, I will never let another human being get close enough to hurt me like my mother did, as if she had anything to do with her death. No, she died of natural causes. But in my mind, in the way that I was perceiving it and thinking, she left me. She abandoned me. Not because she wanted to. She had no choice. Right? But can you see how that can affect the way we think today? Now, my mother had no choice to die. She didn't want to die. It was her calling. But the way I perceived it, she abandoned me. So I had to accept the fact that I had an abandonment issue, and it was coming from my mother. So that when I have these relationships over here, and I start to see things go wrong, or this person getting close to me, I had to condition my mind that that wasn't my mother. I had to allow myself to say, that's not your mother, and it's not the same relationship. Because before that, I was operating under the same premises. If I don't let you get close to me, you can't hurt me. But in doing that, I was living in a box, a vacuum. It was lonely. It led to depression, anxiety, doubt. You know, am I ever going to find somebody that I can fall in love with? Am I ever going to let somebody get close to me? All of these things I wanted. But I wasn't allowing myself to have them because of the experience that I had. And I wasn't putting it in its proper place. So I say, find out where that feeling is coming from. It may not be that current situation. It may be something else. Identify that. And then start working on each one. Least serious first. Why do you think that you want to work on your least serious problem first?
The more you remove, the better you feel about yourself.
Okay.
It gives you practice for the big one.
Okay, practice. When you say practice for the big one, can you expand on that?
By removing the little ones, it teaches you how to deal with the bigger one that you're dealing with, because there's steps that you have to take.
So how does it, dealing with the little ones, prepare you to deal with the big ones?
Repetition.
Say more.
You're learning with the least serious. If you make a mistake, you can still correct them, and they're not as devastating, so that by the time you get to the devastating ones, you have practice enough to get through them.
Okay. And you're going where I'm heading. Okay. But the real thing, what it does is that it gives you a sense of accomplishment. Okay. So anytime that we accomplish something, okay, we feel good about it. It re-empowers us to know that we can do something right. It re-empowers us to know that we can make a decision without feeling the fear, without feeling the anxiety, such as your cohort over here explained. Okay? There was a transformation that went on with her. And the same transformation can go on with you. So you want to do the less serious ones first. It's just like when I talk to students and they're coming here, you know what my goal is for their first semester? Is to make sure I put them in classes I know they can be successful in. Why? Because if you can get someone to believe they can be successful, guess what? They can. And they will.
In all classes.
There you go. But success is very important. And that's what the least serious one is going to do. It's going to empower you. It's going to give you that courage. It's going to say, yes, I can do this. Okay? Form a list of goals. What do you want in a relationship? What do you want out of this class? What do you want out of this group? Anything in life, ask yourself, what is it that I want? And then, what am I willing to do to get it? You know, here's the goal. Your objective is what you're going to do to get it. See, when you went in and you were taking those 2 science classes, you didn't say, oh, I'm just going to take 2 science classes. You thought about, let me look at my schedule, let me look at my kid's schedule, all of that, right? So you had a plan that would work for you. Given everything that you're doing, it worked for you. That's what I'm suggesting here. Right here. She formed a goal. Her goal was to complete her prerequisites for the nursing program by taking these 2 science classes. Her objective was, I'm going to study here, I got to take care of my kids here, I got to work here. Okay, there was a plan. Okay?
That's what I did last semester, because I took CNA class and I couldn't find any class. I had to take 202, but I couldn't find any class here. So I had to drive all the way to Red Mountain, because that would fit my kids' schedule and my schedule, but I was late, a little late, but that's the only option for them.
Perfect example. She didn't let, because of the fact she could not find a class that was fit her schedule best, okay? That was more accessible, that was more comfortable for her. She went outside. She said, okay, there's no class here. Let me see if there's one at Red Mountain. Lo and behold, there was one. She overcame that barrier. Now, if she would have done that, guess what? She'd have another semester before she could apply to the nursing program. Which means that's one less semester that she can get out there and work. See, it has a trickling effect. That's amazing to me. Okay, we put these roadblocks in front of us, and then 3 years from now, we say, "Damn! Only if I would have done with this back then." Don't do yourself like that. You can do it now. Being a part of this club is one of the best things you guys could have ever done. I don't understand. If I was a student, this room should be packed. They got money. They got tutors. I mean, all of this wonderful stuff. And I hear students always talking about, "I don't have enough money." I'm like, duh. Or, "I need tutoring." Duh. Or they only give us 2 hours a week per subject in the tutoring center. Duh. This program gives you as much tutoring as you want. You need a job. They help you find a job. See, again, you got to be willing to take advantage of the resources that are available to you. No one got to where they are without help. But like they say, if you don't open your mouth, you're not going to get help. Because nobody knows how to help you. That's what I'm saying. Be real with yourself. Prioritize your goals. Is college more important than going to work? If work is more important, then admit it to yourself. Maybe you only need to go part-time and work full-time. There's nothing wrong with that. But don't put this false pretense in your mind and think you can work 40 hours a week and go to school full-time. Okay? Because you're going to screw yourself. If you're on financial aid, you're screwing yourself. You don't meet 2/3. You don't stay at a 2.0. You lose your financial aid. Whereas you take 2 classes, you get financial aid, you work full-time, and you're still moving. See? My plan is still the same. My goal is still the same. My goal is to get my degree, right? It's not to take full credit. It's not to be a full-time student every semester. The goal is to get my degree, right? So, if that's your goal, then make sure that what you're doing is aligning with your goal. Right now, your priority might be, I need to take care of my family. Maybe you're the only breadwinner in your house. Maybe you're a single parent. Well, that makes sense. You got to take care of your kids. So they're your first priority. But that doesn't mean your goal of going to school and obtaining your education and getting your degree has to stop. But most of us want all or nothing. If I can't go to school full time, then forget it. I'll just go to work. And then we find out 5 years from now that the person I just trained became my supervisor. And when I went and asked them, well, why didn't I get it? They said, well, you don't have a degree. Wow. Imagine where that goes, where that takes us. Right? Seek out and form a network of support. What better support than in here? You sought out support in the sense of talking to students, and you found out that you wasn't the only one who struggled in the class. And not only 7 people, you being one of them, passed the class. Well, think about it. That's power. That's very powerful. We don't realize it. That's very powerful. It gave her what she needed in order to advance.
But I wasn't happy with the grade. You remember I told you I wanted to retake it?
Hey, but you know what? You wasn't happy with the grade, but you didn't stop. You didn't give up.
I passed. I know, I passed,
There
but
you
I
go.
never get C in my life. Even when I get B, I get mad. Because all my grades are A's, so I was like,
So, which leads me to the next topic. If you fall, get back up. Okay? Remember when you was a kid, you fell, you got back up, right? Life is no different today. You're going to fall.
Several times.
Okay? I'm going to tell you. Let me be the first, if you haven't heard it. You will fall. Okay? Just like you will get angry. You will get mad.
never give up. That's what my son teaching me.
There you go. Get back up. If you don't hear nothing else that I've said today, think about when you were a child and when you fell. What did you do? Do the same thing with life today. Get back up. No one can pull you up. No one can make you get up. No one did it when you were a kid. You make the choice. Make the same choice today.
You gotta know when to lay there a minute, Elder recruit you.
You have to do what you have to do to get back up. I'm not going to get into it. Everybody has different ways that they need to get back up. Whatever you need to do to get back up, do it. The main thing is, it's not important as to what you do to get back up. The important thing is getting back up. Okay? Because we're all unique individuals. So no DNA and no one treatment fits all. So I'm not going to even sit up here and try to tell you that. Form a support group with others like you. Right here. Have somebody that you can confide in. You know, when things are going horrible, find someone you can trust. Find someone that's going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. And I always go back to that. If you really love me, you're not going to let me walk out in front of a diesel knowing that I'm going to get killed. You're going to try to do everything to prevent me, right?
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you want someone to do that for you? See, I don't want you to tell me what I want to hear. Because what I want to hear is probably not good for me. That's probably why I'm in the situation I'm in. Because everybody's going to tell me what I wanted to hear.
A lot.
There you go. I like that saying that they say, the devil is a lie, and something else they say. Yes, ma'am.
Same thing with me too. You know, going off of support groups, one thing I did in college, because I went through depression and anxiety and stress, because I took on a really hard major, was I went into groups with people who were opposite of me also. Because being with people that are like you, sometimes you get conditioned to how they feel, that it's going to feel like what you feel. So you're searching for something more. And what I did was I started getting involved in groups and people that were different than me, people who do opposite things that I do, people that think differently than I do, and dress differently than I do, act differently than I do. And you know, I went into a video games club. You know, like I met with different people, and that actually helped me more because I'm getting different perspectives. I was actually finding what it is I was searching for, and it was really just connecting with the world around me. Like if we always tend to connect with the same people, we're going to get like the same results sometimes. Like being able to branch out and to take that step. Like I took a big risk moving all the way out here. I'm from Long Island, New York, and I moved all the way to Mesa, Arizona, where I don't know anybody. I had no friends, no family, no nothing, and I'm going to school part-time, and I might have to take a semester off because they're charging me out-of-state tuition, but I'm not letting that defeat me. And I'm also was hired by Lizette Mack in the Connect for Success program. I am learning all of this stuff, learning how to work a video camera, learning how to work this, learning how to post. I'm learning all these new skills, and that she gave me a chance, saw something in me that, you know, she saw a light in me that I could bring something to the table, and that's something that I appreciate because now I'm growing, I'm learning, I'm in a new area, I'm learning things that I'm not comfortable with. So like being able to step out and say, okay, maybe if something doesn't work for you, try something different. You know, I never thought in a million years I would do something like this, but I love it, and I'm learning more about myself, and I'm connecting, and I'm actually feeling better about myself, which is big. So
Well, it helps define yourself.
yes.
And that's very important. You bring up a good point is that, you know, they don't have to be just like you, but find some people that have common interests as you. Okay? You'd be surprised at where you're going to find those type of people. You know, like they always say, if you want to know something about a person, why don't you go find out? Why don't you go spend some time with them? Like in America, I don't get it. You know, I'm Muslim. And I hear people talk about every time that somebody say they're Muslim, they say, oh, that's a terrorist. Well, if you understood the religion, you'd know that it wasn't a religious thing. It's a fanatic thing. But then you can have people like the guy that killed all these people in Colorado in the movie theater. You got Timothy McVeigh who blew up the Oklahoma Federal Building, and he's Christian. But we don't go around saying, oh, all Christians are terrorists. But if you want to know something about that organization or you want to know something about that person, why not spend some time with them? You might find something that's useful for you. Just like your colleague back here was saying. She took a risk. She got out of her comfort zone. She came to Arizona. She didn't have any family. She didn't know anyone. And lo and behold, look at her now. She could have easily let her fears keep her from coming and excelling the way she has. And if you notice how she said it, she said, I'm only going part-time because of out-of-state tuition. There was a part that wanted her to say, I want to stop and wait until that year is up, and then I'll come back when I get in-state tuition. But she didn't. She said, I went part-time. See, that's what I'm saying. She didn't feel defeated because she said, okay, can't go full-time, but I'll go part-time. And I'm going to do it because the tuition. I can't afford the out-of-state tuition now, but it doesn't mean I have to stop my working towards my goal. I just have to slow down. Because financially, I'm going to be better off in a year. Why? Because if I take 12 credit hours, I don't have to pay $4,300. Now I can pay less than $1,000. That's what I'm saying. Yes?
Do you have scholarships for out-of-state people, or are they all for people who are in-state?
Well, scholarships are for both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's not like, certain for in-state and out-of-state. I mean, there are some criteria that for each scholarship, and each one is different, so.
Yeah. Okay, good.
So, negative self-talk, telling yourself you are not up to a certain task. Product of low self-esteem, becomes self-fulfilling prophecy, leads to anxiety, depression, and helplessness, builds on itself, influence the decisions you make. All that we just talked about. Because you were feeling good about yourself, and you were ready to step out of your box, and you should have seen, I wish you had videotaping yourself when you were saying that. Boy, you had a glow like I haven't seen.
It took me a little bit to get to it because when I first moved, with me, I felt like it was almost an escape because I was living at home. I came out of college. I had straight A's. I was in the top 10 of my class. And then I come home. I struggled to find work. And I was like, is this how life is? And then I was home. I started getting depressed and anxious because I'm always like, I want more, I want more, I want more. That's my mindset. Like, I always want to keep going out and getting more. And, things just started hitting me. Life, I fell. So I started developing this mindset and this attitude of self-defeat, negativity, which I know in my heart isn't me. I'm not a negative person. I just started telling myself that. I started changing who I was. And then I started looking at myself and saying, this isn't who I am.
You started changing who you were. How did you do that? What
I
did
started
you do?
telling myself things. I started looking at myself in the mirror and feeling bad about myself and defeating myself with my words. And then it started turning into my actions. I started procrastinating because I don't procrastinate. I started procrastinating. I started eating less. I stopped exercising. I was a dancer for 10 years. I just started, everything just started falling on top of me, and I just fell into this deep state of helplessness.
And what got you out of it? How did you get out of it?
I think it comes to a point in your life where for me, you come to a point in your life where you're just like, I'm tired of feeling this way. I'm exhausted.
I came to a point in my life.
Yeah, like you feel.
I feel.
I felt like I was overweight with just depression and self-doubt. I'm like, this enough. Like, I looked at myself and said, enough. If I don't do it now, I never will. That's something I learned to tell myself. If I don't do this now, I never will. And I took a risk. It lasts maybe 2 months. I want to say like around May, June, I made a decision. I'm like, I'm going to move to Arizona. I didn't plan it or anything. I said, I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do it. If I don't do it, I never will. I'm going to do it.
But see, can you see the power of talk to yourself? That's what I hope you guys heard right there. The power of talk to yourself when you experience that. What about you? I haven't heard from you at all.
Do you want it?
I want to know, how does this resonate with you?
Clara, this is Dwayne who I told you about.
Oh, she gave me your number. I would say, well, one of my biggest things is that growing up, I always wanted to be married, have a family, have children. I wanted the life my parents had. They worked together. They were both educators. They were pillars of our community. Just everyone knew them. Everyone loved them. And my father passed away, and it put me into a really bad depression. I quit school, and I just started working and doing one dead-end job after another, and finally where my brother, who was kind of like my father figure, was just like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I don't know. And so I went to Apollo College and got my respiratory therapy degree, and I did that for over a decade, and then I ended up getting pregnant and got married, and after 2 years, he decided he wanted to get back together with my girlfriend, And that just defeated me, deflated me. It practically crushed me, worse than my father dying. And I got let go of my job, and I'm like, "Ugh, do I really want to go back to another dead-end job?" And I'm like, I've always wanted my degree. I've always wanted to have that doctor, the PhD behind my name. And so I was like, screw it. I'm going to go back instead of finding another dead-end job. And then I thought of my little girl, and I'm like, okay, I want my daughter to have what I had. And so I was like, I'm going to get it. And being with my ex-husband for we were together for 4 years, I completely lost my identity. I used to be very feisty, just very outgoing. I used to dance. I did hula, and I got a dance scholarship to Italy. I was very outgoing, and after a while, it went away. And I got to the point where I was like, forget this. I want to be me again.
There you go.
And
So you
I'm
took
back.
control back of your life.
Yeah.
So I'm going to challenge you to something because you said something that was very moving and you got very emotional.
Yeah.
Okay? When your husband left you, it sounds like you started feeling those feelings of when your dad left you.
Yeah.
Probably haven't really dealt with your dad's dad. Come and see me. Come and see me. You're going on the right track. Okay? But we got to put those feelings that you're feeling, those emotions in this proper place. Because your ex-husband is not your father. But you know what the feeling is? It's probably very similar. Because it was a loss. Wow. Okay? So again, and we've already talked about this, how it brings about low self-esteem. Okay? I can't do this. I'm not good enough. I don't deserve this. I hear, especially women, and I'm sorry, but it's true. Women, you guys go through it more so than anybody. Men, we just we go through the world and like it's no big deal. But I mean, you guys blame yourself if you're not a good mother, if the kids go out and do something wrong. If the husband stay out all night, you blame yourself. Well, if I would have done this, I'm like, shit, where's the man supposed to take responsibility? I went to China, and over in China, the man, actually, if you get a divorce, the man has to take the kids. True. Okay? I truly believe in America, if you let men have to take care of their baby for 2 months with no help.
Everything
I'd be
lasts
scared.
That's the problem, though, right? See, again, there it is. That's the problem right there. You are afraid of this child's own father taking care of that child. What if you die?
Exactly.
See, that's what I'm saying. We set up situations for ourselves that brings about these barriers. And in bringing about those barriers for us, guess what we create for others? Barriers as well. Our kids. Think about it. If you're a single parent, if you die, where does that leave your kid? Why wouldn't you want them to have a relationship? Now, you can't make anyone have a relationship with someone. Okay? So identify and know that. But I'm saying, think about that. Truly.
That's why I made a will. If
Yeah.
I die, my ex-husband will never take my kids.
There you go.
There you go. You gotta have it ready so that whoever you want.
Yeah, the kids will run away. They will.
Well, and but you know that. See, and that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that, that every kid should go to their other parent. It might not be a good fit for them. Okay? But at the same time, you've taken those necessary steps to make sure that if something happens to you, that your kids will be provided for.
Well, I asked them. I said, if I die, who you would like to live with? They said, we would like to live with Uncle Waleed. I was like, okay. And then what's the other option? They said, okay, with Andy, which is his brother. I mean, my ex-husband's sister. I have a good relationship with her. She's able, and I trust her. She's very good.
But look how sweet that is. I mean, here you are empowering your kids to make decisions about their life. That is so cool.
Yep.
So now you don't have to worry. If you die tomorrow, you know that your kids are going where they want to be.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you didn't stop at one option. You said, okay, if this can't happen, what's your other? How sweet is that? But you know what? We have the same options with our lives. We just don't take advantage of it. She empowered her own kids at their age to make a decision about their lives. And we're all old enough to make decisions about ours. And we don't. And we complain about how other people don't want to let us make decisions about our life, or how others affect or make decisions for us. Think about it though. Here's young kids. She empowered them to make decisions. They knew what they wanted. She was able to execute a will that will allow that to be done. And here we sit in this room together today, and we can't even make decisions for our own life. I think I want to go to school. Do I want to go to another dead-end job? I hate my job. I don't know what else they want from me. Like we're crippled to a job. Yeah,
Taking care of those things though really eases your mind when you're in college and stuff, because it doesn't have the stress. Your mind's not thinking on it and you can concentrate on college.
And that could be different for everybody. I'm not going to stereotype and say that, if one person does this then, or if everybody does this, it will do. If that works for you, I think it's great. The whole point of it is that let's explore what other people are doing, so that if it works for them, it might work for us. But again, you got to understand, you have your own DNA just like everybody else has theirs. And so you got to figure out what works for you. But one thing we do know, you'll never get there if you don't try anything. Okay? You would have never made it to Arizona if you didn't really mean to just pick up and go. Sometimes it might take that. Because if I think about it too long, I'm probably not going to do it. So sometimes being spontaneous is good. It's a good thing. But I think when you still made the decision to come to Arizona, you kind of thought about, how am I going to live? Where am I going to live? What am I going to do? So even though you may not have planned to come to Arizona right away, you had a plan once you got here.
Absolutely.
There you go. There you go. And that plan can be adjusted. We're not stuck and bound by that plan. Just like a will can be adjusted. If her sons decide next week, next month, that I think I'd rather be over here, she can go change that will. Just like you can change your classes. All the way up until the day the classes start. They can change that will all the way up to the day she dies. See, I can take anything that you do in life and show you how it applies the same way. Life is very simple. We as people make life complex because of the choices we make. And then we say, oh God. Well, if you was following what God told you to do before you got there, you probably wouldn't have been there. Don't say, oh God, now. When things was going good for you, you didn't say, oh God. Sorry about this. This is my prayer time, but again, what I'm trying to get you to see is that, we always want, when things are going bad in our lives, we always want to turn to our higher power and say, oh God. But have you ever stopped and thought about, why not say, oh God, when things are going good? I mean, think about it. The only time you want me to call you is when I want something or need something from you? All of us have those family members, right? Or friends.
Yes.
Who just like, oh girl, she's calling again. What does she want now? Right?
Or you just look at the phone.
There you go. Because you're tired of doing
It's
it.
called ID now.
Right.
Silent.
Or if it comes to your cell phone, you push that thing, oh, I'm in a meeting. I'll call you later. Or I'm in class, right? We got it. No. Why? Because of the fact we don't want to feel like the only use that you have for me is when you need something from me. No one wants to feel that. Right? You want to feel appreciated. The hardest job in the world is being a parent. Why? Because sometimes we don't feel appreciated by our own kids. But that really comes down to me asking you this. Do you appreciate yourself? See? Again, we go out and we think about wanting other people to appreciate us, but do you really appreciate yourself? Do you appreciate your accomplishments? Do you appreciate the fact that you have embarked on something that very few Americans have, and that's a higher education? Yes.
In my case, I came out here because of my daughter, and she wanted to go to college out here. So instead of uprooting her between 11th and 12th, so that she had all that trauma, we started at 9th grade. And halfway through 8th grade, I went, oh my God, you're gonna be in 9th grade next year. So I threw it all together, God said, do this, and I did it, we came out. I never thought of going to college myself. I was totally against it because I'm more of a vocational school person. But then God showed me something that I'm supposed to be doing, and I needed a bunch of eclectic things, a bunch of little things here and there. And I said, you know what, I'm gonna go to college. And I am having the greatest time, I gotta tell you. So it's like, it's me time now.
There you go. Every day should be me time. That's the problem is that, every day should be me time. Set aside some time, even if it's only 30 minutes or an hour, for you to get to know you.
Because you're not promised tomorrow.
I'm telling you, you will be amazed if you just sit, just quietly, okay? Just quietly by yourself. It's amazing. It's amazing what you will
I think people have a difficult time doing that.
And we do, and the reason being is because we don't really like ourselves.
Right.
We're also
Because we don't want to look at our shortcomings. That's why we don't like spending time, because it's easier for me to look at you and say, oh, I feel these are your problems, than to look at myself and say, these are my problems.
You're also programmed not to do it in this society. Idle hands, not, you gotta go, 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 you gotta do. You can't really just sit. People have problems with it.
And some people, they give up when there's no support. Like, for example, like my family, like my mom, she doesn't agree for me to go to school. She said, just take care of your kids. You don't need to be in school. What are you doing in school? Like, she get mad. Even I remember when I was 18, I got a scholarship to go to France because I had all A's. I was the best student in the school. She took that away from me. She said, let's give it to her brother. But my brother had a bad grade. How he's going to go? She said, no, we give it to the boy, not to the girl. Girl not allowed to continue her education. She has to stay home and cook and take care of the kids. Since then, I was like, you know what? I told her, I want to prove you myself, and I want to show you what I can be.
They have study abroad programs here, so you might still be able to go to France and study.
Well, it's going to be tough because I have 2 children. It's not.
But I think the real point that you're making is that you didn't give up on your goals and your dreams because of what your mom said. And that's really the key right there is that, sometimes we allow ourselves to listen to what others are saying, and therefore they define who we are. You didn't let your mother define who you were. You said, wait a minute, this is my life. I can be this. Now, you might have used your mother as a motivator to say, let me show my mother, but it was a positive thing. But you took control. You didn't let your mother define you.
Well, because maybe she doesn't know how to read and write. She never
There you
been to
go.
school.
And maybe when she was brought up, women didn't work. Okay? It's a cultural thing. Okay? So maybe her mother was brought up, women didn't work, they stayed in the home. If you go back into American history, no different. You look at the African American Hispanic communities today. Okay, back in the day, even though Daddy may have been a Rolling Stone or whatever, he was still a part of the family. Now you don't see it. You have more minority males in prison in Arizona than you do on the streets. Imagine what is that doing to the family unit. Imagine the role model. Sure, I can go see my father, but imagine the emotional impact to have to see my father locked up behind bars. Imagine the impact of my father not being there for my 3rd birthday, my 4th birthday, my 5th birthday, my 6th birthday. And by the time he's there, I'm 20, and I don't need him. Just imagine that. So do you allow someone to define who you are? Or do you define who you are within you? Replace negative thoughts with positive ones. Replace I can't, but I will. Replace I think to I know. Replace I'm going to try what I'm going to do. Replace I deserve it to I deserve better. See, I can take any word you want me to. And let me tell you, words are very powerful. as I said at the beginning. You got to change the way you think. And the only way you're going to change the way you think is what you tell yourself. Okay? So change a negative to a positive. And you can easily do that. When you fall, you change that negative falling because you got back up to a positive. And guess what people around you did? When you were a baby, you fell, right? You got back up. And before you know it, you took 2 steps and everybody started clapping, didn't they? Oh, she'd say, they put you on YouTube and all the family got together and like, oh, you took 2 steps, yay! And you just thought you won a lottery. And you were 1 or 2 years old. It's no different today. Really, when you stop and think about it, it really isn't. Because if you can celebrate your accomplishments and be positive about it, guess what else is going to happen? Those around you are going to as well. Okay? Like me, I'm going to tell you flat out, I'm proud of myself to get my doctorate. Come this May, you're going to see my chest puffed out. Hopefully it'll be out farther than my stomach. I'm working on that one too. Okay? But no, seriously. And I'm going to demand people call me Dr. McIntosh. Why wouldn't I? I earned that right. I'm not going to let people take that from me. It's not that I'm on a title trip. I'm not. But if you earned it, why don't you deserve it? If you earned that degree, why don't you deserve to be called that? We don't have a problem calling other people that. Why shouldn't we want the same thing for us? You know, I could call this person Dr. So-and-so. I could call this person Dr. So-and-so. Oh, I'm not into titles. Just call me Dwayne. Hell no. Call me Dr. McIntosh. It's not arrogance. No, think about it. See, that's the problem is what we tell ourselves. I'm not into titles. But we all want to be recognized. And the first person got to recognize it is you. Okay? That's replacing the negative with the positive. If I recognize the value of my accomplishment, guess what? Other people will too. There's nothing wrong. I've earned the right to be called doctor. Why shouldn't I demand to be called? Just like if somebody calls you out of your name, if somebody calls me the N-word, I've earned the right not to be called that. See, when there was in slavery, that's what they were called. But over time, you've earned the right not to be called that. You've earned the right to be called something more proper. What's the difference here? You're not going to let somebody call you that in which you know you shouldn't be called, right?
Yeah, but most of our professors, they don't like us to call them like doctor or professor. Just call them by their name. Anna, she told me.
Because a lot of them probably don't have doctorates.
No, some of them, they have doctors. She said, just call me Anna.
And that might be. But I'm telling you that most of the people that don't want to be called doctor around here, that's because they don't have one. Most of them that want to be, and most of them that have it, they want to be called. And again, it depends on the setting. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not going to go in there and have all my students call me that. If they choose to call me, I'm not going to be, oh no, you can only call me. But I'm saying that you need to acknowledge it in yourself. And when I write, I'm going to use that. Because again, guys, what I'm trying to really bring home to you is that if you don't recognize and celebrate your accomplishment, you cannot expect anyone else. That's all I'm really saying. If you earned the right to be called a physical therapist, you went to school for it. If you went to school to be a social worker, why isn't it a problem with them calling you a social worker? So if you got your doctorates, what's wrong with them calling you doctor? See, I don't get it. You've earned it. And you want somebody else to acknowledge it, but you don't acknowledge it. Oh no, I'm just Dwayne McIntosh. No. I got student loans to say that I earned this and paid for it. Okay? So if I die after I get my doctorate, believe me, I will be called that. And if anybody wants to pay off my student loans and say for me not to use that, I will. So if any of y'all got extra money, and y'all don't want me to call, and y'all don't want me to tell nobody to call me doctor, please let me know. I'll give you my student loan budget, and you pay it off, and we're good.
Don't sell yourself so short.
I ain't gonna sell myself short. Because I'm telling you, if somebody pay off my student loans, then you've earned the right for me not to call myself doctor. Okay? But what I'm saying, there's a benefit. There's a benefit to everything.
Don't worry, I will
You-
call you doctor.
You look at Donald Trump. While we laugh at Donald Trump, it's real. Somebody's liking him. Somebody's liking what he's saying. You may not agree.
Apparently, he's still running.
There you go. And he's second.
As of today.
Right. But the point that I'm making is that Donald Trump acknowledged the good in him. That's one thing I will give him. Donald Trump believes in Donald Trump.
That's why they call Dr. Hayden. You remember Hayden? Dr. Hayden? What's her name?
Oh, the counselor, Dr. Hart.
Yeah.
So again, all I'm saying is that, you got to believe in yourself. You got to acknowledge the good in you. If you want it to be acknowledged, if you want someone else to acknowledge it. Because we're so keen on acknowledging the negative in our world that our world becomes negative. Everything around us becomes negative. So negativity creates, and it's sort of like they say, you are your environment. Well, if your environment is negative, guess what else is negative? You are. Remind yourself things rarely turn out as bad as you feared. All of us have those fears. You feared coming to Arizona, but it turned out it wasn't as bad as you thought it was going to be. You came to Arizona, picked up on a whim. You even had a kid. It didn't turn out as bad as you thought it was. You lost your father. You lost your marriage. But if I'd have asked you that before you got a divorce, you probably said, I don't think I could survive without him. But you are. Single mother. Didn't think that you could make it all happen. But you did. See, that's the power of bringing that positivity in our world. There's nothing that we cannot handle. But it's about a choice. Okay? We can handle anything that comes our way. Leading up to death. We can even handle that. Because we do it. We have to. We have no choice. Okay? My mother died at 12, when I was 12. Wasn't something that I chose to happen or wanted to happen. But you know what? It was something that I had to live with and still have to live with. So to say we can't, it's not true. It's a choice. Surround yourself with positivity. Shun negativity and negative things. Hey, if people want to be negative, cool. I'm not going to be around you.
Yeah.
I don't need to be around people who's telling me I shouldn't go to college. I don't want to be around people who's telling me I'll never be able to make it. I have enough of that.
Yep.
I can turn on the TV and see that. Okay? What I need to do is I got to replace the negative with the positive. I want to be around people who are saying, yeah, we can do this. You don't have to do this by yourself. I'm here to help you. That support group that they talked about. And then talk to a trusted friend when you are feeling down. And I think we talked about that a little bit. Have your support group. Have your support person. A lot of people, they talk about mentors. That's a great thing. But what does that mean? See, I always ask people that. What does a mentor mean? See, to me, a mentor is more than just a person who's going to help me to get from where I'm at to where I want to be. To me, my mentors, let me tell you what they are to me. They're my counselors. They're my father. They're my brother. They're my confidant. That's what my mentors are for me. If I have a bad day or I got to make a decision and I'm not sure and I want some information, I feel comfortable picking up the phone and calling my mentors and saying, hey, you know what? This is what I'm dealing with. Do you have any advice? I'm not asking them to make my decision. I'm asking them to give me more information so that I can live and be confident that the decision that I'm making is the right one at that time. Because no one knows if you're making the right decision or not, because if you did, you'd always make the right one. Right?
Yeah.
We don't know the outcome of our decision until well after it's made. But one thing we do know, the more information that we have, And the more we're informed, the better decision we're probably going to be able to make. Whether it's going to be effective or not, we don't know that. So for me, as we talk about mentoring, I would say if you don't have that in your mentor as far as the college, find someone that you can. Miss Mack is a good person to have. Okay? She's going to go above and beyond. She's not afraid that if she doesn't know how to fulfill your needs, she'll go find that entity on this campus that can. That's what you need. You need somebody that's going to advocate for you. Somebody that's going to say, I don't know, but I'll find out. And then follow up with you. That's what you need. You have it. Use it. It's not. People don't mind helping people that want to help themselves. I hear people, oh, well, I thought you just so busy and I didn't want to infringe on. No. I want you to. Because if I give it to you, guess what? You're going to give it to someone else. My legacy lives long after I'm gone. Nelson Mandela, we still talk about him today. Sister Teresa.
Mr. Roger, too.
Mr. Rogers. Yeah, Mr. Rogers, the kids show. Okay?
Way to go.
But think about it. Mr. Rogers had a major impact for all of us that's a little older.
Yeah.
We break our neck to see Mr. Rogers in the neighborhood. Right.
We can still see
And
yourself.
then you run down the street and you looking for Mr. Rogers.
Electric company.
And everybody had that Mr. Rogers that gave out candy in their neighborhood, right?
Always.
So, but again, think about that. What do you want your legacy to be? How do you want to impact? You know, when you commit, let me tell you one thing that they found out in studies is that people who had illnesses and they gave to other people had a 50% higher recovery, a faster recovery rate than those who didn't. So there's something biologically that happens to us when we give of ourselves. See, a lot of people nowadays, they want to give money. But it's not money people need today. It's you. And the first person that needs you is you. And once you're able to give to yourself, of yourself, it's so much easier, it's so much nicer and more rewarding to give to others. But if you don't give to yourself, then you're left with that empty feeling, that negative thought of, oh, that wasn't enough. I didn't do the right thing. I shouldn't have done this. Okay, all of these negative things, rather than saying, you know, that was really cool that I, helped that person today. I used to make a lot of money at Bank of America as a credit analyst. When I came to Mesa in 1996, stayed at Bank of America, but I didn't get the fulfillment. And I made a whole lot more than I made here, even now. Truly, that's true. Okay? But the fulfillment is not the same. Every day I can go home and I can say, man, you know what? I helped another human being get through that barrier that was causing them to be stuck.
No, you didn't. You helped the generation.
Okay? And that's great. And so, for me, it's really refreshing. Now I'm starting to see students that I had their parents. That's scary, because that means I'm getting old, right? So I don't know if I like that one too much, but, I'll handle it.
But you can call yourself doctor now.
Well, I hope I don't need one. But no, really, truly, getting back to the topic at hand. You gotta love yourself. And if you don't love yourself, ask yourself, what do I need to do in order to love myself? Okay? And truly, what I want to leave you with more than anything is this. Everything begins with you. Everything ends with you. Because the only person that should matter is you. Because you don't know if anyone else cares about you. We would all like to think and feel that someone does. But at the end of the day, we really don't know. But one person that we do know loves us or don't love us is us. So I challenge and I leave you with this. Please, give yourself as much as you give others. And when you get there, if you find yourself giving others more than you gave yourself, ask yourself this question. Why do I feel they deserve it and I don't? Because the bottom line is, you do deserve it. But until you believe you deserve it, you're probably not going to get it. So be good to yourself. Tell yourself you love yourself. Tell yourself that you love others. But know that all the decisions that you make is going to affect you first and foremost. And if that's the case, then don't give anyone else the power to make those decisions for you that you can make for yourself. So love yourself, and in turn, others will love you, and you can love them. Thank you.
Any questions? Yeah, we're working in high school.
I don't know that question. That's a whole nother workshop.
Oh, okay.
Future Dr. McIntosh.
You can just call me Dwayne.
I did take pictures of you throughout the presentation, and I would like to take pictures of everybody, if that's okay. Because I'm going to be commemorating or collaborating a slideshow for the end of year celebration. So I'm going to have photos of everybody there, and I want to know how everybody felt about that, me taking pictures.
I'm good with it.
And no pictures?
I don't have a problem, but I would recommend that you do, though. The college has a form, a release form.
We have,
Okay, so yeah, I would just say make sure we all sign that.
Yes.
she's the last one.
Okay, cool. I should have known, that she always on top of everything. I'm trying to make myself feel a little smart,
Oh, I shouldn't have said anything. You're right, Dr. McIntosh.
You notice how she's trying to come out of, now she's like, Dr. McIntosh. And in the back of her mind, she's like, idiot, don't you know I'm this? You don't know me? I'm not some other people that's not
Remember
ready.
when I told you about Connect for Success, you said, oh, I don't know about this program.
So
And
what?
then remember when I asked you, I read the flyer, I called you. I said, do you know about this program? You said, about this scholarship. So you said, oh, I don't know. I thought there's two babies named there.
And I told you.
Leslie, and then, oh, yeah, call Leslie. At first, you didn't.
Well, they got all these success things going around the
Yeah,
college.
they
So trust me. I mean, I'm not trying to discuss. Trust me, I'm an avid person for for success. I mean, I've been a mentor in this program from the inception of it. So, but when you got a whole lot of programs that's calling themselves success, and it didn't happen until after this program started. For
It kind of
success.
started in 2011.
Right.
Time ago.
Right, it did, but again, you have a lot of programs now that are,
Where would you like
using
to
that same
miss
name.
photography?